Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another conversation with one of our collective associates. Today, I'm honored to have Riley Mahaffey of Lochsa Engineering join me for a conversation about engineering, modular, and so much more. Welcome, Riley.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you very much for having us.
Yes, of
Appreciate it.
course. Excited for you to be here. If you would, go ahead and tell our viewers a little bit about Lochsa Engineering and Riley Mahaffey, if you would,
All
please.
righty. Well, I'm a homegrown Idaho boy. I grew up in the Lemhi Valley Salmon area, graduated from high school there. Grew up on a cattle ranch, learned the value of hard work. uh, Attended the University of Idaho where I got my civil engineering degree. And in summers, to be able to afford that, I worked construction. It's probably been the best education. The school's good education, but the construction site was even better for where I'm at today. Still can implement a lot of that. When I graduated, I thought I knew everything in the world, and I thought I needed to be in a big city. So I got a job in Los Angeles, and I lived down there for 6 years. And in hindsight, it was probably good for me. I learned a lot about myself professionally and personally, and learned a lot about the world and different cultures and things like that. So it was very beneficial. When I'd realized that I was an Idaho boy and needed to come back, the Northridge earthquake hit, and I had an opportunity to stay and work through the repairs of that. And that's just education you can't get in a book. So I stayed an extra year and a half. And my boss that I learned under was actually the author of all the upgrades to the 1997 Uniform Building Code and the seismic upgrades from the Northridge earthquake. So it gave me a lot of great experience in seismic, and that I still use to this day. So came back to Idaho and joined with a consulting firm here. Was getting a lot of opportunities from the founders of Lochsa Engineering, Idaho boys in Las Vegas. I told them I was not about to move from LA back to LA to Boise, and then Boise to Vegas. That wasn't something in my mind. So we kept that going on, and then they were, like I said, they were Idaho individuals, and they were interested in starting something here. So we created Lochsa Engineering of Idaho in 2003.
Okay, 2003.
Yep.
Great, great.
I'm a happily married man, and we have an awesome pug named Piper and my duck dog named Bo. And in my personal time giving back to the community, I'm a district chairman for the Ducks Unlimited organization that we help with water conservation, wetlands conservation. So a little bit about us.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So since 2003, what
Yes.
has the Lochsa trajectory been like?
We started in a little house down on 13th Street, across from Les Schwab. We had Dell boxes and tables from Costco as desks. We grew from that to about 20 or 25 in the first 3 years, and we're up to 40 now. Do you want me to go into the Nevada office?
Yes, please.
They
Yeah, let us
started,
know your different locations, please.
yeah, they started in 95. And I said, as I said, they started with two gentlemen that were born and raised Idaho folks. They were in firms. They had left and started a civil and a structural firm in their garage. And they landed a circus tower and looked at each other and said, wow, now what?
Where do we go from here?
They grew that firm up to about 175 people before the 2008-9 debacle crash. That office is a little different than us. We're only structural here in Idaho.
Mhm.
They are full civil, wastewater, water, hydrology, traffic, survey, structural. So that they have just a different entity. During the crash, they dropped pretty substantial. I think it was from like 175 to 40. And they've slowly built back up now. I think I want to say they're over 100 back in the firm now.
Well, good. And I know that broad range of services is very appealing, to us and the collective. Again, being able to provide that complete turnkey experience for owners and developers on projects. You wouldn't normally think that a civil engineer and an interior designer by trade would have a lot in common, but I know that you and I connected early on in the
Yep.
just in the design and construction realm in general, but then more focused recently on the modular offsite
And we're
solution.
just seeing how that collaboration needs to happen.
Right, right. And so
Yep.
we're both involved in the World of Modular conference this week. And we know that that's very important to Lochsa in
Yep.
your process. So if you would tell me how your experience has been so far at World of Modular, and just, overall, in general, what is motivating to you, what gets you up every day to implement those kinds of solutions in your work?
And this goes way back to, I think you and I crossed paths in the world of modular many, many years ago, and just knowing you from all the businesses that you've had, and seeing how in its infancy the process was back then. I think it was a 1% of the construction industry, and to be a part of that and see the innovation and being involved in that innovation, seeing that buildings need to go together a little quicker, projects need to go together quicker with collaboration. As we saw this huge decline in construction labor after the crash, I think one of the speakers showed us millions, left and didn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we saw some pretty huge gaps in helping a project get collaborated and coordinated, and being able to do it in a controlled plant. We weren't trying to take jobs away. We were just trying to fill the process in, and being able to do it inside of a plant, and then have a setting crew, versus, hundreds of crew out there that just aren't available, just aren't there. We've been able to deliver the projects still as efficient, or if more efficient, hopefully more efficient for our clients and our owners.
Mm-hmm. And it's really exciting here in the States, because, the genesis of the industry here in the States came from, pre-manufactured homes, and some people might have, the stigma in their mind of mobile homes or what have you. And I think you and I are both really aligned in that we see so much opportunity and the path forward, and there's a better way, and we know it. And
Yeah.
so we're both advocates for the modular offsite solution, whatever that
Completely.
looks like, right? Panelized, full volume metric, bathroom pods, headboard walls. There's so much genius available out there with the solution. I know that I'm passionate about bringing that all together and understanding what the options are to make it better than the status quo. That's
Yeah.
what gets me up in the morning, right? It's
Me too.
like,
Yep.
not just the status quo, not just settling. It's like, let's go for it and let's see how far we can take it. So I'm really
Exactly.
excited about what's happening. I'm really energized by the conference, all the conversations and presentations that are happening.
It's been the best one yet, I think. I told Tom that the people at MBI how it's just amazing. It's tough not being there all together, but the way they set it up virtually has been impeccable. It's been great.
I agree. Yeah, it's been very professional. Not the same. I'm going to travel next week down to Phoenix, and that'll be my first kind of longer distance travel. Tell us a little bit more then about your approach with design, and when you're approached by a developer and owner saying, hey, I want to take a look at this modular solution. Just maybe give us a little glimpse into what your next steps are.
You bet. I mean, it's defining, up front to that thinking of all of us that are involved on it, that it's going to be a different approach. It's not the standard conventional delivery method. We got to have a lot more detail and coordination has to be in place up front to be properly built in the factory, shipped to the site, and set into place. It's constantly, every realm of that scope has to be thought of. It can't be pushed down the pipeline or later, or we're going to have an unsuccessful project. We as a firm over the years, and we're still learning. I mean, I learned so much this week, and I've learned some of our inequities or our weaknesses, and going through this, which is good. You got to learn by that. But we spent hours studying how offsite really works, and in talking with owners. We constantly got to learn that top to bottom within our firm and across the whole team, you need buy-in on the process. It's not a matter of throwing typical details together and things like that. It's got to be collaborated, up front. You got to talk to your MEPs. You got to talk to, finishes, building skins, architectural. It's got to be delineated. Also, in talking with owners, you got to kind of explain and if they're new to the method of not everything is going to be offsite or modular constructed. You're still going to have some site build items, and being able to delineate that up front and have your plans delineate that's going to help whoever's putting it together in the field, or whoever's providing, during procurement, who's providing what. That's a very key point. Learned a lot that the building permit process on our end is much more involved. You're kind of getting two different types of approvals. You got to go through a building official, but you also got to go through a state for the volumetric modular itself. And if you don't do that up front, it'll cost you months on the back end. We as consultants need to be there for the factory from start to finish. There's things that are going to come up just as if it's being built in the field, that you got to coordinate with them. A lot of our effort through the years, and I'm preaching the choir to you, but is educating the owner on decisions that have to be made up front, with the collaborative, telling them they got to pick their fixture, they got to pick this because it's going to be built in the factory. We don't have months down the road to put it in the room. It's got to ship in the room. And that's been I think it's being accepted more. 5 years ago, that was a tough sale, because they look at the numbers and think, well, I don't have any financial savings up front. Why am I spending all this up front? But once they learned that, hey, wow, I can open 3 months, 4 months earlier, like, in the hospitality industry, heads on beds, quick as possible, and seeing that revenue generate, seeing the construction loan switch to the permanent loan has been pretty substantial savings too. We've had some developers show us that difference, and also, removing some of those general conditions.
Phone was ringing. Keep going.
Just removing general conditions. A lot of times, that's adds to the overall savings. If they look at it just up front, and some are, I'm spending hundreds of thousands 3 months before that I'm used to. It's like, well, yes, but let's look at this at the end where it's going to help. So.
Yeah, it's good for us to have some thick skin and determination as early adopters, right? And the conversations we have, just like with anything, if it's new, people are going to question it and not understand it. And just given a visual of a video of crane setting of modules, for instance, I think that light bulb goes on for a lot of people there. So yeah, I know you and I could talk forever about this. But it's very exciting to be in the field during this time, and excited that you and I are both speaking at the Advancing Prefab Conference in June, and crossing fingers we will be there and together in person. I'm planning.
In person, yes, I am too. I'm ready to see some people. Yeah.
Me too. Boy, it's been a long one.
Yep, it has.
Thinking about your clients, and I know that Lochsa is very, very big on relationships and long-term relationships, and kind of, almost like family, if you will.
Yeah.
What are a few of the things that your clients have told you over the years that they really appreciate about working with Lochsa?
Yeah, the number one thing I always hear is, "Wow, you're not the typical engineering firm. You're weird, Riley." They tell us we're the blue collar construction mentality, and that works for us pretty good on the site. Learning that during construction, we're not stuck. It's not a responsive, well, what does it say in the plans, or what's the details say? That was our intention up front, but many things change as it goes, and you got to be able to adapt to that. You got to be able to listen and address their needs from start to finish on the project. You can't just leave them out to dry, hang them out to dry. It's got to be done, because if you don't, you could be creating a life safety issue, but you're really letting your owner down and your client down. So we stress that a lot. We stress transparency. We don't want to hold back any information or keep our co-consultants or our owners in the dark of what we're doing. We're tell them, I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to try. Things like that. I think it's appreciated.
And that's great. Yeah, I've experienced that with Lochsa on that entire team approach, right? It's not, well, you're this and you're this on the project, and that's your role, and never the two shall meet or cross.
Yep. It can't be done that way anymore.
Yeah, yeah, and the integrated, design process and the integrated project delivery. For me in my career, having done so many lead projects and administered so many lead projects, that entire process with modular too is so key, because you
Yep.
save time and dollars, coordination efforts with everyone involved early on.
Yep.
So that's why a structural engineer and an interior designer have connected like
Isn't that
this,
funny?
right?
I love it. It's awesome. It's
Yep,
awesome.
'cause yep, everything connects to, it's like the game Operation, right?
Yeah.
The thigh bone connects to the shin bone.
So that's a great analogy. It's very true. Very true.
Oh,
Yep.
that's great. Um, so on kind of on that note, what appeals to you about the collaboration with the Cornerstone Collective, which we just launched a couple months ago?
Oh, when you brought it up, I'm number one, I'm proud of you. More
Thank
than
you.
you deserve it.
Thank you.
Knowing you, from past working relationships when we were just two consultants sitting at a table in a design, to seeing how you've developed just the whole Cornerstone group of companies. When you approached us, it was a yes immediately. It wasn't I'll think about it. It was definitely a yes. Your ethics, both personal and professional, are just impeccable, and that's the type of people that we want to work with. We've seen your successes. Like I said, we were honored that you would want to put us in that cog of a structural to be on your team. Your core values, and what your philosophy is in helping our society with affordable or attainable housing, accessible healthcare facilities, just using our skills to effectively bring projects to fruition that are going to help people in the long run. That's what I know about you and what we've talked about, and we're just happy to be able to be a part of that.
Well, thank you for that, and likewise back at you.
You bet.
And it's very exciting now that we're, coming out of the pandemic. That's what I'm saying. We are coming out of it. No more
Yeah, we are.
hoping. We are. I know you and I were talking pre-call how busy things are, which is
Yeah.
great to see.
Yep.
And I think a month or two from now, everyone's going to be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so much work. We can't handle it." Right?
Yeah.
Actually, I had a call this morning with the general contractor who said that.
Wow.
So he said, "Yeah, we just landed 5 projects." So again, that's part of the premise of the collective, is that we can help each other
Mhm.
expand and contract, and just collectively provide amazing services and projects, and lean on each other a little bit.
Yep. That's what
And
we need.
so, yeah, it's very,
Yep.
very exciting on that. And
Yep.
I think that, we say a lot around here, teamwork makes the dream work. And I think you and I have lofty dreams and aspirations just for the world in general,
Mhm.
design and construction, and then more specifically in the modular offsite. So it is going to be very exciting to see where we're at, having a conversation a year from now, even.
Right.
I think.
We believe in it and so much. Like I said, seeing you involved in it years ago, there's other, what's neat is our little valley here. We've got so many players in this industry nationally and worldwide, and seeing it grow and being up front, and as a firm feeling, okay, we've put in here, we burn our fingers on the stove on this, but we're past that learning curve now and we can take it further. That's exciting.
It is really exciting. Yeah, I call Boise, Treasure Valley area the modular Mecca.
It is. It's unreal. I look
Yeah.
down the attendee list and it's just unreal. So
Yeah,
it's awesome.
it really is. And I mean, all of us work nationwide and then going international as well. It's
Yeah.
very, very exciting.
Yep.
What are you personally most looking forward to in 2021, either business or personal?
We kind of touched on it, but seeing the world get out of quarantine,
Yeah.
hopefully seeing our economy grow and strengthen. I know the economist. Did you sit on his session?
Yeah.
It was interesting to hear some of his points.
Yeah.
And what you and I do best, personally getting back on the road and pursuing business. Miss the face-to-face contact with people at conferences, job site. I miss being on the job sites instead of having an iPad walking me around a job site, and interviews like this. I mean, it's Zoom is amazing. And we were talking today how, gosh, 5-6 years ago when GoToMeeting, I hope I'm not going to get in trouble for this.
No.
GoToMeeting was the thing,
Mhm,
and all of
mhm.
our clients out of Canada said, "Hey, this Zoom's pretty cool." And we're like, "What?" and we started using it, and it's just amazing how it's taken off. I wish I'd have bought stock 5 years ago, but
Right? I
but
know.
just all that. I really love the words the lady said in the keynote this morning. Is our world needs CPR. You saw that, being connected, being protected, and being respected.
Yes.
I think you see it across the board. Everybody's just ready to get back. I want to say, I hate the word normality or normalcy, but it'll be different, but hopefully something similar to that. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, mine's very similar, and being able to connect in person, be able to, not just gather to gather, but I think we're going to be gathering with more gratitude and more purpose when we gather. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Great point. Yep.
Wonderful. So I think I already know the answer, but this last question, I'm going to think of another one though, because I think we've already kind of covered it, but just your favorite part of your job in addition to what you've already shared with us.
I've thought a lot about this. I've been asked this a lot, and it's kind of a twofold kind of a deal. I love being a part of a company that provides a service, to help clients and their projects, making sure they're appropriately designed, but also for, our number one code of ethics as an engineer is to protect the safety and welfare of the occupants and the general public. And that kind of makes you proud that it's a lot of responsibility, but fortunately through time and through experience, we've learned the methods and good methods to do that, but still not have a big bunker built. It's still something that people can afford to build. And on the other end, internally, I like being a part of a company where we can have staff and help them grow and improve themselves professionally and personally, while they're still being able to support families and have their lives. That's rewarding. I know my wife, I always talk, we got a lot of mouths to feed, but it's rewarding when we're able to do it. So I really like that aspect of my job.
That's fantastic. All right, last question, really, really simple one.
Yep.
Where do you want to travel next for pleasure, not business?
I owe my wife a trip to whatever tropical country that has the little grass huts on the water. I think does Bora Bora have them? Bora Bora,
yeah. Bali, Tahiti.
I owe her one of those, so she keeps reminding me of that. So I think that's what I want to do. How about you?
That's awesome. Well, my oldest and her husband are on their baby moon in Cabo right now. They're
cool.
having a baby in August. So
I've never heard that term, but I love it. That's awesome.
I know, I hadn't either.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you. Or your wife. I want to be somewhere warm, tropical, on a beach, play a little golf, and just relax. So
I hear you.
Not sure where that's going to be yet. But
I don't either. Yeah. But... Awesome.
Well, Riley, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure just talking with you and just sharing this journey, walking out this journey together with you and Lochsa Engineering and your amazing group there. Thank you for being part of our Cornerstone Collective. For our viewers, if you go to our website, thecornerstonecollective.net, navigate to Collective Associates, you will find Lochsa Engineering there under engineering. So I encourage you to go check out more of their work, reach out to Riley directly. Riley, you want to share your email address?
Sure. Riley at lochsaidaho.com, LOCHSA.com. For those of you that might not know, it's named after a river here in Idaho, northern Idaho. Our original founders spent a lot of time, their off time from school, fishing and rafting. So that's what we named the company after.
That's awesome. Well, thank you again. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to see you on World of Modular virtual. Well, it's not Zoom, but tomorrow morning. We'll see you there.
Thanks, Susie. Appreciate you.
Thanks again. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your week, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.